so do you. Ha, 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 ha. And now it's time to stream too. Ooh. Hey guys, oh man, hey Tony, hey Zoe, hey Ashes, hey Vera. Oh boy. I have not watched Gotham, Zoe. I'm sorry. I did just finish The Boys. I don't know if that's HBO or Showtime or what, or Amazon. I just watched The Boys and I did not like it. Oh man, that is not great writing. A lot of real big plot points hinging on real coincidental stuff. Hey Amy. Hey Chris. Kudos on the new memes, new dank memes, Chris. Like something like those Optimus Prime memes. If anyone's not already following Chris on Instagram, get on top of that. It's a good time. So last week we didn't stream, or I didn't stream. You guys are probably ready to stream, but I wasn't. I went to a convention. I was at Strategicon, and I was there all day on Monday. And then Tuesday, I had to go pick up a friend from the airport who was visiting for Lightbox Expo. And then as the week went on, I just got sicker and sicker with a cold, and you'll hear me sniffling and snuffling and coughing and shit today, so that's how that's going. Zoe, the kitty's doing all right. She's over here loving on the wall right now. There she goes. Little land shark. She's gonna go sit in her favorite summertime place, which is over near the door, where the wind and the sunlight comes in. Settling in. Turning into a little cat statue. Wrapping that tail up around those little kitty paws. So yeah, it's been a weird, busy week, and then had a D&D game on Saturday that I was doing a lot of prep for. Hey Carol, I said hi to Tony already, right? And yeah, it was just like a real hectic time. So we're back. We're doing it today. I figured I'd squeeze in this early morning one because the same people that I picked up from the airport last Tuesday, I have to pick up and bring them to the airport today. So it'll be cool to. It's a friend of mine that I haven't seen for I don't know, decades, a decade, I guess. And he and his girlfriend and his other friend are all they all came into town. They're all illustrators and animators and stuff. So hey Carol. So yeah, I'm gonna bring them to the airport. I hope they had a good time at Lightbox Expo. I'm gonna find out today. And he's also it's his first time in California, so he wants to go to In-N-Out Burger, which I'm not that big of a fan of In-N-Out Burger. So we're gonna go and he's gonna eat, and I'm gonna be like, I'll pass. I'd rather get anything else. I used to eat In-N-Out pretty frequently. The food's fine, but it's some of their other stuff they got going on that I don't particularly feel like spending money on. Yeah, and we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna come back here and try and schedule a D&D game for this coming weekend. It's gonna be great. But other than that, this week is gonna be, I don't know, there's gonna be some stuff to do. Nerd Expo is coming up later this month, so I'm looking forward to that. If anyone's in Southern California, check out Nerd Expo, Pasadena Convention Center, September 21st. I will be hosting. Sasha, I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing fine as well. I'm sure everyone that I'm talking to right now, aside from Chris, is overseas in the UK or Europe or whatever. In Asia, maybe the subcontinent. I don't know. But I got I got some good stuff happening at Strategicon. I played some games. I won a free T-shirt. I bought a upgraded version of a game that I already love, Betrayal at House on the Hill. I got to see some old friends. I had some house guests. That was interesting since my house is such trash. Yeah, did a lot of driving, did a lot of staying up late, not a lot of healthy eating, and that's why I'm in my current health state, which is subpar. I feel like poops. And so you'll see me try to stifle all the gross, phlegmy stuff that's happening. But man, I hope you guys are doing well. I know there's a lot of hurricanes happening elsewhere in the country. And I hope that's not negatively affecting you too much. Oh, went back to school today. That's cool. Doing the Riddler costume for Halloween. That's cool, Zoe. Already my soul is broken. I'm sorry, Sasha. You'll be okay. You'll make some new friends this year, probably. 3 words to handle that. Sleep, orange juice, and Robitussin. Yeah, sleep and orange juice are fine. I'm trying not to get too much medication in me. I feel like it just does as much harm as good. It makes you feel better, but it doesn't necessarily make you get better. So I'm doing fine. It's not like a painful or achy sort of deal. It's just a real congested, yucky, like expulsive, like I'm coughing and sneezing a lot. But what are you gonna do? You know, you can't go your entire life without being sick unless you're the guy from Unbreakable. You know, and then you're an imaginary character in an imaginary movie. But yeah, I wanted to go over I finished Game of Thrones. We're not going to talk about it because there's still people, I'm sure, who are also trying to watch the entirety of Game of Thrones that haven't gotten through it. I will say though, I don't know what the hell people were complaining about. I liked all of it, all the Game of Thrones. I thought it was just fine. I think they did a great job. And what's your problem? What's your problem if you didn't like the end of Game of Thrones? Like, did you want something more spectacular to happen? Did you want, fairy tales? Is this what you're looking for in Game of Thrones? Because that's not what you signed on for in season 1. And then my other friend had suggested, oh, well, you got to start watching The Boys. And so I'm watching the show The Boys, and it's about superheroes, and it's like not good. There's a lot of like real weird choices they made as far as like, oh yeah, instead of having like cool decisions that we made happen where things come together in a meaningful way, we're just gonna be like, no, we're just gonna have like a lot of coincidence bring the story together, and I think that was stupid. So I don't recommend The Boys. Now moving on to another show called The Expanse that people seem to like, so I'm gonna try watching The Expanse. I do not watch Supernatural. Honestly, I don't see myself liking Supernatural very much. A lot of the stuff that's on like TV, like PBS and all the Marvel stuff and the like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all the stuff in the Arrowverse, the CW stuff, like I can't watch. It's too cheap. It looks too cheap. I'm too used to watching like high production value movies where it's like everything looks right, and then you watch these TV shows where it's like, we're fighting a monster, and then the monster has like no shadow, or it looks really stupid. I don't know. I can't watch stuff that's supposed to be high budget but is made on a television budget. It makes me mad. The family survived, although we wondered if it ever came south to us in the first place. Dorian is the Michael Myers of hurricanes, just won't die. Yeah, a lot of bad hurricanes. I wonder what we can attribute that to. Hey Lindsay, I'm doing well. Glad to see you. Tony was at singing lessons. Okay, well, welcome back. More like fighting Satan. Sure, Sasha. Yeah, it's a monster. You know, it's a demon monster instead of a radioactive gamma monster. Like, whatever. The point is that there's only so many dollars to pay a college graduate to make the visual effects for it in a limited time span, and so you end up with crappy like 1990s style compositing and visual effects in these superhero things, and I don't love it. I don't think it's great. Yeah, 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 yeet. Haven't seen you. How Taz? I'm doing all right. I've been kind of filling my extra time with a little bit of Borderlands. I'm right at level 79 right now in Borderlands. I'm gonna level up to 80, and then I'm probably just gonna take a big break from Borderlands because I told myself I would never go back and play Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, and here I am. I'm doing it. I'm doing Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, and you can't stop me because I just like Borderlands a lot, and I'm never gonna buy Borderlands 3 for full price, so I'll start exploring that once it costs $10. Hey Jay/Jenna, have you noticed you have almost 6,000 subscribers? I have not, Sasha. I do not pay attention to YouTube subscribership. Because I don't monetize any of this. I don't know what, like, I only get probably 80 or 90 views per video, so there's not really a lot of reason to monetize it. But it's nice to know that people are signed on, like, even after seeing weekly streams that, that people are sticking around. Like, I know if I kept getting notifications from an account I didn't watch, I would unsubscribe, and I often do. So thank you to the 6,000 people that subscribe almost. Movie budgets and TV budgets are definitely way different from one another. It's true, Chris. And yeah, I don't fault TV shows for having less budget. It's just the way TV works. You can't put millions of dollars per episode into you can't put the same amount of dollars per minute into a television show and expect it to succeed on whatever television budgets are. But that means it's not for me. You should have more subscribers. Your content is really interesting. Thanks, Jay/Jenna. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not in this for subscribers. I'm doing this because you guys have been super kind and nice and faithful, and I think about that a lot. And I'm like, if I don't do the streams, I'm not doing right by the people who show up every week. So that's all I want to really do. Tony, it's fine to miss some streams. You don't, like, I always think it's funny to see people say they miss the streams and they're so, like, worked up about it because you can watch it later. And half the people that are like, oh no, I missed it, I wasn't there for it, are the same people that would just stop by and watch it anyways. And they wouldn't have said anything or made any, like, real giant contributions that would have made it an inherently different stream. So, I don't know, just watch it later. That's all it takes. Really nice guy. Hey, don't worry about it, Jay/Jenna. So yeah, that's what's going on today. I'm hoping I get some more artwork done for the game this week. It's time for Billy to start looking for a big boy job again, because I had a dream last night that I went home to Rhode Island to visit my parents, and they basically said, you owe us all the money that you have ever made, because you haven't been working and making money and been lucrative, and you're a huge disappointment to us. So that was a dream I had, and that made me wake up and be like, maybe it's time to get the fuck off my ass. And I'm thinking that might be the incentive I need to really get back on get back in the saddle. You commented on my Twitter post. Well, thanks, Tony. I mean, those Twitter posts are just there for the 5 minutes of, hey, we're going to be streaming soon. Let's see what Tony said. I was at singing lessons. Got it. Saw it. All right, Tony. Noted. Singing lessons. You were there. We saw it here. We saw it on Twitter. Now we know for sure where you were at the very beginning. Wow. Anyways, commented Nolan. Hey, Nolan. So yeah, there's been that. I've been playing. Oh, I finally at Strategicon last weekend. I finally got to play this like super. I got to play Mystic Vale with all the expansions with a really belligerent drunk guy. I have a friend named Zach, who I met through Blank Slate, and he was at the con, and we were trying to connect the entire time. We were trying to get some time to play a game. And finally we did, and it was him and 3 of his friends or something. And one of his friends was just kind of real, I don't know, aggressive, I guess is the word. And he was like, oh, you gonna play a game with us? And I was like, no, I'm playing this other game. And he's like, figures or something like that. So then I busted his balls later about like, oh, you available for a game? And he was like, no, I'm in the middle. And I'm like, oh, great, then you're a fucking asshole. So we ended up playing later a game of Mystic Vale, and he was pretty drunk at that point, but we were just slinging shit at each other the whole time, not literally. And that was fun to know, but it also a little irritating. So I saw It Chapter 2 and loved it, but someone brought their baby in a horror movie and whined through a good chunk of the movie. Yeah, Sasha, I mean, I can't call him a dickhead, because the truth is, he knew... I don't know. Like, he did it, but it was in such a hyperbolic way. He was so over the top that it couldn't, like, it was, like, obviously not, like, mean-spirited. He was just doing it as, like, a, hey, I'm a ball buster kind of thing. Even so, still not a great way to approach me. I don't love that kind of shit, but, whatever. Hey, liquor ding, moos, younger, and liquor, guess slapping. Okay, Kelly. Don't be too hard on yourself. By comparison, you've accomplished way more in half an hour than I have in a lifetime. Oh my god, Chris. Way better than you give yourself credit for. Yeah, Chris, I mean, it's just about money. That's all it is. I don't give a shit if I spend all day, every day doing nothing. Like, in my life, if I don't accomplish anything other than making the friends I've made, I'm doing fine. Like, if I die tomorrow, good. Like, I did fine. But the fact is, since I'm planning to live for the next however many years the Earth still has water and air, I should probably try to fit into the contributing to society model of living, which entails making money and being constructive and helpful. I don't know though. I've been thinking a lot about like what I can do that's actually like useful. I mean, I'd love to go back into visual effects and like work my ass off 80 hours a week and make a good amount of money and buy a house or whatever. But I'd also love to like learn about something more useful, like working for a charity would be cool, but then like am I making my money off of people who thought they were putting their money towards actually helping people and not like helping me pay my rent? But then like maybe I should be looking for alternative energy jobs. Like, should I be installing solar panels or putting up windmills? I don't think I can put up windmills. They're too high up. I'm afraid of heights. But like, I don't know. Like, should I get into some sort of burgeoning technology? Makes me wonder. Yeah, Sasha, you can quote me on that. If I die tomorrow, I'm fine. Like, if I get hit by a bus or something and, you know, somebody wants to make a big speech about, like, oh, you know, he could have done so much more and he wished he could have healed the world. It's like, no. I would never have healed the world. I wasn't meant for big things. I'm meant for sitting here with you guys and talking about bullshit and then eventually I'd be an old man talking about bullshit. That's how the longevity of my life would turn out. Is I'd end up talking to you guys when I'm 80 and being like, I remember back when I was your age, I was doing exactly what I do now. Only I had a webcam instead of a cerebral implant that read all my thoughts and broadcast them to the internet. Can I ask, is it cool that myself and my dad are going to be making an arcade machine and uploading the Pi system into it so we can play a lot of different games on it? And I don't know if it's weird or not. You're making an arcade machine, and the Pi. You're going to be uploading the Pi. I think the Pi system is like Raspberry Pi and all that stuff. I've heard of people doing that, and they're all really satisfied with it, I think. But yeah, you should go for it, Taz. That's a great. I think arcade games are still a lot of fun. There's so many games that sort of come and go because of our short attention span as a culture. Like the Captain America and the Avengers side-scroller brawler game is great, and nobody plays it anymore because it's old and weird and it's too easy by today's standards or whatever. I don't know, like, do whatever you feel like, and I hope you're satisfied with it. I hope it's got all the games you've ever wanted to play. There's a few games that I would like to go back and explore. One is Earthbound, because I play as Ness in Super Smash Brothers, and I'd like to know. Bye, Carol. I'd like to know a little bit more about the storyline. 2 is Kid Chameleon, which was one of my childhood favorite Sega Genesis games, so I'd love to go back and play that one a little bit more, especially if it has the Game Genie codes. 3 is like all of the Zelda games. I've never played any of them, at least not for any amount of time that would mean anything. So, bye, Taz. So yeah, I think it's a great idea to build an arcade game, and I hope you have good luck with it, and nothing gives you any real hang-ups. So yeah, do the thing. And more con news: New York City Comic-Con. Hold on, I gotta turn off this stupid. For some reason, I left Facebook on. New York Comic-Con just around announced that Loki himself will be at the Comic-Con event on Friday, October the 4th. I can already tell you that I'm not able to afford it. Yeah, typically getting a photo op or an autograph from Tom Hiddleston is very expensive. But he's going to be in New York anyways for Betrayal. So, he'll be there. Maybe get to catch a glimpse of him as he sits behind a thing. Good chunk of Zelda games is on the Wii U. Yeah, I have the Switch. I guess I could. I know that the Nintendo Legend of Zelda, the Legend of Zelda, is on there, but it's so boring. I'm talking about like Ocarina of Time. And what's the other one? Maybe. Wild, Call of the Wild. A lot of the more well-loved ones would be cool to play. But, maybe when like I said, when I have the job, Tony says, hey. Yeah, I don't know. But I think everyone should have... If you have access to free arcade games, whether they're pirated or not, like, I think everyone should have like a kind of an archive of old video games to pull from, so that you're not constantly feeling the pressure to buy every hot new video game title that comes out. I think there's a little too much obsession with, if you're not playing the newest game, then what are you doing? Because the newest game isn't any better than the past 5 or 6 games that came out of its kind. I don't know, whatever. But having, at least if you have 1,000 Mario and Sonic and Banjo-Kazooie, like all the old console games that you used to have but never played, and you actually did own at some point, like, I think if you have access to those, then you have less of an excuse to be like, wow, I need the newest game. I've already played everything. Because you can't have played all the arcade games. So get in there. Majora's Mask and Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Ocarina of Time are on there. Just wish or hope the Switch has them too. Oh, weird. All right. Yeah, I know. I know the Switch has ported quite a few of them in there. There's a little spot in Blackpool Arcade that has a bunch of old games like Pac-Man, Mario, and Sonic. It's cool. Yeah, Sasha, like in the the old retro kind of stand-up arcade machine arcades are getting more popular. There's a bunch of them here in LA. I don't think I'd ever really want to pay to go and sit in a public place and play video games with other people, but I think having access to them in my house, especially for free, is a great is a great thing to have. Joker won the Golden Lion Award at the Venice Film Festival. Yeah, good for Joker, Nolan. I don't know. I don't love the concept of the Joker getting even more press than he already does. Like, it's such a dangerous idea to idealize, like, mental derangement, homicidal mental dysfunction, and sort of dig into it so that you can see you can feel sympathetic towards violent acts committed because of abuse, because of neglect, because of systematic misfortunes. Like, the Joker is meant to be a villain because the Joker is evil. And to have a movie where it's like, oh man, that evil guy only became evil because like everybody misunderstood him. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, like, if that was a different person in a movie who didn't wear a clown mask or laugh while they were murdering people, like if it was a single mother that all these things happen to, you'd expect them to work until they die, work hard, do the right thing until they die, and not become a homicidal maniac. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll be a good movie. It'll be what it. Obviously, if people liked it enough to give it an award, they seem to be film people who know a lot about film and storytelling. So maybe they'll have the right idea. Blah 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 blah. What are your thoughts on remaking classic games like Resident Evil 2 or Final Fantasy 7? I mean, if people are buying it, I think that's great. People got real excited about that Resident Evil remake, and obviously people are excited about the Final Fantasy remake. I never played either one of those games. I'd like to see... I mean, GoldenEye even got a remake a little while ago. I think a couple of people got excited about that, but that's kind of one of the only games that I would be able to say, like, I played a lot of when I was a kid. I don't know. I don't fault anybody for ever remaking anything, movies, video games, whatever. Like, I think it's fine. If it was a good thing then, it's probably a good thing now. That's the thing, movies not having you sympathize or humanize him, was what the reviewer said. Yeah, Nolan, I don't know. From the trailer, it seems that the building blocks are there, but again, I've never seen the movie, so I don't know. Yeah, Tony, I would. That's the thing, is that a viewpoint on the Joker is easy to mishandle. It's easy to have a really irresponsible viewpoint of the Joker, I think. And I think there's a lot of angry, immature, self-aggrandizing people out there who love to be like, I'm the Joker guy. I'm the guy that loves I wear a Joker T-shirt all the time. I cosplay as the Joker. I have the Joker license plate or whatever, all the merchandise, because I want people to know that if they treat me badly enough, I'm gonna go crazy and kill them. Like, that, I think, is a type of person that I've met. The person who wants to use his fandom to send a signal of, if you make me mad enough, I'm going to become a monster and destroy you and the things you love. And while this movie probably treats, goes a little more carefully about like glorifying violence and stuff, it still shows a story in which someone succeeds at doing that, becoming the monster and killing their enemies. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't, I don't think it helps. I don't think it helps real people like you who have depression, who have anxiety, and who don't really have the option of being like, you know what? I'm going to buy a few sticks of dynamite and take my revenge on the system. Like, that's a great way for you to get yourself killed and a bunch of other people killed, and or whatever, or harmed, or scared. It's a great way to, become a terrorist, and nobody wants that. So just take everything as a grain of salt. Thanks, Augustine. It's good to see you here. I'm so happy to see Augustine's tuning in. But I don't love the concept of the Joker becoming a titular starring character in a movie where he's like, people have fuel to say, I'm like the Joker because the Joker gets his own movie and the Joker's a star, if that makes any sense. Hey Moonra, we're about to finish up, but I just wanted to finish what I was thinking on. The Joker movie is meant to be completely separate from the comics and everything. If the film theories video, they go deeper into the Joker's mental state. Yeah, Sasha, like, I don't know, but I'm already seeing articles that are like, hey, the Joker might be in the next Batman movie. And it's like, so first the Joker gets his own movie, things get resolved in one way or another, and then this Batman movie happens, and the Joker has to face off against another anti-hero who has some sort of other questionable habits. Batman is problematic in its own way. But yeah, like, it is what it is. These movies are going to get released. People are going to think what they are. It might be another sort of... when I was a kid, I loved Boondock Saints. I think about Boondock Saints now, and I'm like, oh, hey, remember that part in the beginning where the heroes of the movie are working at a factory, and a feminist approaches them and says, like, hey, that phrase you just used, and yeah, she's angry about what they're saying. The phrase you just used is actually a remnant of, like, women being abused through history. So it's a problem for me to hear you say this thing. And the solution to this woman speaking up about the history of women and violence is to get into a fist fight with the woman. And I'm like, oh, Boondock Saints. Maybe not as good of a movie as I thought it was in middle school and high school. Or I guess it was just high school. My biggest concern, given that I have bipolar disorder and depression, is that this movie might put mental illness in a bad negative light. Yeah, Chris, I don't think it'll put it in a bad negative light. I think it'll put... my fear is that it'll put it in a... admirable light. In that it's like, oh, well, you're better off suffering through this. You're better off. You're made stronger for being anxious, and for being depressed, and for being suicidal, and for being homicidal, and for being all these things. Like, that's what I don't want to see it do. I want an overall culture of people being like, if you need help, help's available. Here's a story of triumph. I can show you a movie, a story of triumph, where someone has they struggle with something every day, and they work, and it hurts, and they work through this, and they get to a point where at least they can survive, or they feel better in some incremental way day by day, and they find a way to love, and have some happiness, and bring happiness into other people's lives, and have other people enrich their own lives in return. Like, that's, I think, the goal for any movie that's right-headed. I think the Joker movie could easily take some irresponsible steps in the wrong direction. Anyways, but we're done for today. We're 5 minutes over, which doesn't matter. But I gotta go pick up some friends, bring them to the airport. Stay tuned in maybe 6 hours for the afternoon stream. We'll talk some more about whatever you guys want to talk about. If you're not feeling well, please, reach out for help to the proper mental health channels, professionals. If you have medical coverage and you're not seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist or whoever you need to see, that's the people you want to be talking to. Talk to your friends and talk to your family too, but like, if you need help, find help. I don't have any phone numbers or whatever on hand, but if you're looking for help, maybe I can even help you find it. But all I have is this. All I have is my opinions. Anyways, we will talk to you all soon this afternoon. In the meantime, I'll see you in a bit. Miss you, love you, bye. I'm crazy for trying, and I'm crazy for lying.